Hi, so we just wrapped up today's Board of Supervisors meeting, and I wanted to walk through a few of the kind of key votes and highlights of the meeting. So the big item is that we approved today what is considered the tentative budget for the fiscal year that starts July 1. So what a tentative budget means is that we approved a cap. And between now and the approval of the final budget on June 20th, that the budget can't get any higher, it can only get lower. So the budget that we approved is $1.7 billion. It's $30 million higher, plus or minus, right, I'm rounding, $30 million higher than the budget for our current fiscal year that'll be ending on June 30th. It is tough. I will say I don't know if I have it handy, but there's a massive binder that walks through every department within the county. Oh, look, it's just floating in. So this is the budget. We went through I read the entire budget, and one of the things that was really clear in the budget was the narratives that are written by our department directors. It tells a story of departments that are struggling. They are struggling to make do with what they've got. Folks are, they're understaffed. There's deferred maintenance. There are things that they could do, should do, need to do, but the resources just simply aren't there. And at this particular moment, when we have got so much incredible financial uncertainty from the feds and from the state, and we have had cancellations, clawbacks of federal funding, uncertainty about state funding. The state has shifted costs. It's one of the tactics of the state is to take some of their expenses and to push them down onto the county. We got about 9 cents, a little over 9 cents worth of increases on our property tax that are due completely out of our control, that are costs that were pushed onto us from the state. We approved a cap, 1.7. We focused a lot today on the revenue side. We did not talk much about on the expense side. We're probably still going to be looking at ways to cut, to be able to invest in one of the other big items that we talked about today, which was a proposal to invest significantly. The original proposal was 3 cents. 3 cents for affordable housing, and that was a 3 cents every year for 10 years. The proposal was actually modified for this particular meeting to be 1.5 cents to start out with, and then to scale up, and then to scale back down, so that it would end at another 1.5 cents at 10 years within the end of this cycle. That proposal, unfortunately, was pushed. We kicked the can to the next board meeting to discuss it further. And frankly, I'm still reeling from disappointment. I think that, and this was just based on mainly what I heard when I ran for this seat from every corner of District 3, from the rural communities to the urban communities, suburban, from the nations, all across, that the priority is providing affordable housing. And it looks different in all of our communities. It looks different in rural communities than it does in the urban areas, etc. But we need to invest in a meaningful way, a bold way, an upstream way in providing affordable housing for all of our communities. And that means both sort of incentivizing affordability of housing, preserving existing housing, and preventing homelessness. Because that was the other thing that I heard so much about as such a priority is providing some support and assistance so that folks are not unhoused. My position has been that while property tax is hard, and pushing out increases in property tax right now is incredibly hard, knowing that costs are high, there's so much uncertainty, but at the same time, the cost of not doing this, the cost of not investing in affordable housing, is a cost that exceeds the proposal on the table. Because if you think about how much costs are incurred from law enforcement, how much costs are incurred in jails, from 911 dispatchers, from the courts, from even our librarians and providing services for folks who are unhoused, from business, folks focusing on washes and transportation in our schools and our hospitals and public health. All of those are costs that relate to folks who are unhoused and not dealing with our housing crisis. So I'm a strong proponent of investing in affordable housing. We couldn't get it across the finish line today. I will fight for it through our next two meetings until this budget is approved and when we close the door on it. So that one got punted down the field. A couple good things that we did accomplish today that I'm very proud of. So one is that we passed a resolution condemning the potential cuts, reductions in the Ironwood Forest National Monument. Ironwood Forest National Monument is in District 3. It is one of the amazingly beautiful places, conservation lands within our district. It is a national monument that our community fought for, and right now there's a proposal, on the table potentially from the feds, shrinking it down and then opening it up to resource extraction. So we passed a resolution condemning that and calling on a congressional delegation to push back and protect Ironwood Forest National Monument. We also approved today funding for our flood control district to continue to work with in partnership with the San Javier district of the Donoato Nation on a community park, the Walk Community Park in San Javier district. Our contribution through flood control is really put in some green stormwater infrastructure and integrating that into the park. So there was a big process, involved a whole lot of youth and elders and families leaning in on what the design of this park and the green stormwater infrastructure should look like. So we approved funding for that. That funding was matched. We approved about $500,000, which was matched with a $1.5 million grant from state parks. So that was a shining spot. We also approved today a policy around fireworks. This is kind of this is something I didn't know a whole lot about until I came onto this role. But we had, one of the things the Board of Supervisors does is we approve permits for fireworks shows. And it just kind of seemed a bit haphazard. I had a lot of concerns about fireworks. One, because of high levels of wildfire danger, air quality issues, neighbors who are disturbed by the sounds, folks who are vets with PTSD. Also, pets, animals who get disturbed by the sounds from fireworks. So today we approved a policy that sets some parameters. So they will be canceled if the winds exceed 10 miles per hour. They will be canceled if we are in stage 3 or greater fire danger. They're limited to no more than 30 minutes. And a few other parameters. And then we approved a few permits today and sort of and added some of the conditions that were similar to the policy, the ordinance that we passed, to ensure that the new permits for the 4th of July fireworks shows that'll happen in unincorporated Pima County are also complying with some of those key provisions. We also, this is exciting, approved some of the new vote centers, or the vote centers for the special election that'll be held for the Congressional District 7 primary and general. And so one of the things that was approved that's new are drop boxes. Other municipalities have been utilizing drop boxes. These will be the first ones that we have done here in Pima County. Recorder Casares Kelly was on hand to walk us through what these new drop boxes will look like and do. There'll be 2 of them at the recorder's offices downtown and on the east side. So it is good to see that we are catching up and employing some of the similar tactics around that other municipalities are using to ensure that voting is easy and people can do it can engage in it. I think that was all I was gonna hit on. You can watch the full, the 6-7 hour meeting online. We'll post a few little written highlights as well. And as always, you are invited to come to the meeting. And if you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks so much.